Hi, guys, and welcome again to my channel, A Whole Single. And my name is Kennedy, and I'm your host of A Whole Single. And so today I want to just stop in and talk to you a little bit about grief. Yes, grief. Holding on and letting go of someone that has passed in our lives. And so grief looks different. Grief can be for someone that has passed away, and you can grieve a relationship that didn't work out. You can grieve people that you had to just let go out of your life. And so everybody deals with grief differently. There's different stages of grief: anger, denial, just say, then retreat, self, loathing, under thinking it's your fault. But either way it go, you need to deal with grief. Let yesterday be yesterday. Um, as many of you know, my husband passed away about 10 years ago, 10 and a half years ago. And I didn't get a chance to really fully grieve him. As I was going through the grieving process, I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And so then I went into fight or flight. And my mind and my spirit was just not, I just cut it off. I just stopped grieving, start living, trying to make sure I was healthy, trying to make sure I get through these 7 months of chemo, 5 operations in 1 year, then 6 weeks of radiation, and then, getting back on my feet, then getting pneumonia, being in the hospital for 2 weeks. All of these things just were going on. I didn't get back to grieving for a few years after the diagnosis and after he passed away. And so once I got back to myself and got my physical body together, then I started dealing with my mental self. And one thing I love about my church, Rebirth Christian Fellowship, is we have a mental health ministry at our church where you can go in as leaders, you can go in and speak with someone, or as members of the congregation, you can, there's ways to connect with the mental health ministry to be able to talk about strategies and develop ways to deal with your emotions. And so, with that being said, many of you know that I myself, my master's degree is in psychology, but it's in organizational and industrial psychology. So my learning helps me to be able to move people around and talk with people and figure how to make them work together, how to make the organization run smoothly, I usually work with HR professionals, those kind of things. So my studying is really not so much into behavior, but you do learn behaviors. And so one thing I've learned about grief and not letting someone go is that you'll bring that person with you. You know how Flip Wilson said he had a devil on one side and an angel on the other? Sometimes you can carry that person with you if you don't fully grieve them and let them be that angel that flies off to heaven. And so, by that being said, what you will do is you get into the next relationship, and and you haven't grieved Walter. Now I'm looking at John saying, Walter used to do this. Walter used to do that. Walter handled me this way. Walter said these things. What you understand? So now you're placing that person in this person's shoes. You're now not allowing this person to be their authentic self because you're trying to make them this person that has gone away. Whether it was a bad relationship that didn't work out and he messed around or he was abusive, guess what? You're going to, if you don't grieve that relationship, when you get to the next relationship, you're going to always be on the lookout for this person to do the things that this person did because you're pushing those things on this next person. You're so looking at them through a faded glass, through a dirty lens, that lens that you have where you're still seeing that other person, but now they're on the other side. That's not fair. It's not fair to the person that you're dating now. So I implore you, Let's deal with grief. Talk to someone. Find you a mental health professional. Find you a friend. Find a minister, a preacher, a teacher, someone that's in the Word that will give you scriptures and pray with you and teach you meditation techniques in order to free your mind and free yourself of the bondage of holding on to a person, holding on to a bad relationship, holding on to something that's not there anymore. I myself, I know that I'm better. I'm not going to say I'm the best me or the best version because I'm still working on me, but I'm better. And I know this because on yesterday, I was cleaning out my hard drive. I was like, oh my God, I got pictures on this computer from 10, 15 years ago. And as I was going through the videos, I found a video that Walter had taken with a little camera that I had bought him in probably about 2010. And so I saw videos and I heard his voice. I heard his voice for the first time in 10 and a half years. And I just smiled. And I was so happy that I've had this video, that I still had this piece of him where I could hear his voice. But I could tell something was different. I didn't start to cry. I didn't start to go back into this deep, dark, why is he gone? What happened? Why did he? I didn't. I was just truly happy in that moment that I was able to hear a voice that was a comforter, a companion, my friend. Most of all, he was my friend. I got to hear that voice again, and it didn't sadden me. It didn't grieve me. So I say to you, deal with grief so that life gets so much better when we let go of bad bondage and things that weigh us down or things that keep us holding on to the past. If he was still here then, if we were there when. We can't do that to ourselves. So today, I want you to endeavor to research your heart, research your mind. Is there anyone, anything, any place that you haven't grieved and truly gotten over and gotten through? So that's our task. Let's deal with grief and get past it so that we can be what? A whole single. Love you guys by the gallon. Check you next time. Take care.